And there you
Okay.
go. That
I
was
got
the
it.
thumbnail.
I got it.
How, how do you feel about the riddle me this, riddle me that? Who's afraid of the big black?
I feel like if I say anything, I'll...
Oh, we're live. We're live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Unofficial Commentary on not the Riddler's Innuendo Hour.
So, what now?
It's the Avengers.
Ah, yes. The biggest motion picture event in all of cinema.
At the very least, one of the most groundbreaking, if not, it has been
It made
surpassed
about
since
it.
then, but...
It made about as much as The Dark Knight in the box office.
Oh, yeah. And
It took all of these guys together to make as much money as Batman did once.
yeah.
And meanwhile, Thor then stole all of Batman's money with Ragnarok versus Justice League.
Oh, Jeff Johns and Joss Whedon deserve to be taken out back and flogged for that piece of shit. Anyways, this is back when Joss Whedon was actually good at his fucking job. So, Kevin, are you ready? Do you have the movie queued up?
Of course, I'm at 0000 and 00.
All right. Let's go ahead and get started then in 3, 2, 1. Aside from the, aside from the Incredible Hulk, this is the first movie in the MCU where the 4K is actually worth a damn. Probably because the absolute brain trust that...
Oh, look, Paramount's still here.
Yeah, Paramount's still here. We
For
won't be
100
seeing
years.
you again for a while. Well,
Actually, we'll be seeing Paramount in Iron Man 3, but that'll be for a long time because after this we're gonna hold off on doing more Marvel movies.
Yeah, the absolute brain trust at Lowry Digital didn't have film to fuck up. Joss Whedon actually shot this film entirely digitally. This was the first MCU film to be shot entirely digitally. And, it looks really good. Surprisingly so. And he shot it with basically the tallest commercially available aspect ratio. There was a little bit of cropping on the Blu-ray to take it out to 16:9, but regardless of all that, and the 4K, by the way, actually expands the aspect ratio. It's the first fucking disc in MCU history that actually expands the damn aspect ratio rather than sticking to the bog standard theatrical version. Ah, those notes of Alan Silvestri's amazing score.
Yep. And of course, DC will attempt to recreate that through their DC AMU films, as we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, who's
and the
motherfucker that broke
himself,
everything?
Nick Fury.
Alright, which one of y'all motherfuckers broke it?
Hey, that's the anime alert sound effect, but it's in the background, so you can't tell that it's that it's just straight from a sound effects CD. Take note, Lionsgate. There's also a framing device in this movie that's been completely cut out, and yeah, I can see why. Have you seen the deleted scenes?
I think.
It was
also.
Yeah, the framing device was basically posed as Hill telling
Is this the first time Maria Hill has been in any of these movies?
Yes.
Well, she's already better than her comic book counterpart.
Yes, indeed, but that's not exactly
in the
hard
comics.
to do.
In the comics, she's a total bitch.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and this is also like back when Joss Whedon was being kind of ambitious with his cinematography as well. It wasn't just shooting everything as a big flat shot. But
And,
then again,
the weird,
he's also shooting an original movie and not having to composite like 5 actors into a green screen room together.
There's like one bit between Banner and Stark that looked better in Age of Ultron than it does in this movie, but that's mostly for a visual level.
Mm.
Not really like a just a general thing. Of course he can.
And I will say, a lot of people after Infinity War were complaining that, oh, Joss Whedon was too jokey in this film. If only we'd had like the quality of Infinity War from the very beginning. Hang on, I've gone back and watched both of these movies in the 2-3 years since Infinity War. There's nothing in Infinity War that wouldn't have fit in this film. There's nothing in this film that wouldn't have fit in Infinity War.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of dialogue. It's just, different directors. And
yeah.
The problem with Whedon wasn't the fact that
he was too funny, herpaderp.
Yeah, it wasn't the fact that he was trying to be too funny or trying to be too clever. That has absolutely nothing to do with it. The problem with Whedon's dialogue was that he got beaten down during the writing and editing process for Age of Ultron, and he just stopped giving a shit.
Oh, that's a nice Kubrick stare.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and this Loki will be what will be his iconic design for the rest of his appearances in the MCU. Because everybody knows this design.
I love Loki. How he just kind of looks at the spear like, oh, this.
And he just lunges at him like it's nothing. I have to question, how did Loki, being, this capable in a fight, lose to a bunch of time cops from the TVA?
Well, that would certainly be a good question.
And plus, his female counterpart, Sylvie, is just as capable.
And look at that. Whedon's still better at directing action than the Russo brothers.
Debatable, but...
They got better, but they were seriously hampered by the MPAA just arbitrarily changing their fucking rules around the time of the Winter Soldier.
That just seems stupid.
Yeah, they started saying, "Oh, you have too many punches connecting with flesh in a film. Like, we'll give you an R rating." Never mind the fact that Rocky Balboa had just come out like a couple of years prior, and that film had more punches on flesh than anything, and I think it was only like a PG-13.
And I am a bold motherfucker. Is it bad that he has a point?
He's got more of a point than Killmonger did.
That is true. Motherfucker!
God damn it. Just glad you didn't take out my other eye.
I needed that.
Yeah, the thing about the Avengers, like this film specifically, is you've got enough screen real estate to where you don't feel like everything's all cramped and closed in like you do with a lot of the films that go for the CinemaScope aspect ratio. And you
Right.
also have, oh, I think Joss Whedon might have played the original Metal Gear Solid.
Perhaps he did. I still have far more faith in Jordan Vogt Roberts when he comes to making that
Well, yeah,
movie.
like Whedon excels with teams. Metal Gear is mostly about, Snake.
Yeah.
Better motion tracking on those eye effects than in, well, Revenge of the Sith, but I was trying to think of something else that. Oh yeah, some of the more recent X-Men
I'm
movies.
sure we'll get to the 6 Star Wars movies that exist.
Well, 7, maybe 8.
No. No, wait, you're right. It's 7 films that actually exist.
Yeah.
Because they never made a trilogy after the original.
No, they didn't, and they certainly didn't make an incredibly generic remake and then make a hand it off to a hack who doesn't know how to do anything right.
Remind me, which one is the hack?
Rian Johnson.
Oh, duh.
J.J. Abrams knows how to do stuff right, but he's also kind of a, I was gonna say corporate shill, but that doesn't actually work all that well since he was at odds with Kathleen Kennedy during the making of Episode 9.
Who wouldn't be at odds with that woman?
Honestly, it'd be anybody. Anybody would be.
I said who wouldn't, or because everybody would be at odds with her. And you know that guy that was talking to Thanos earlier?
Yes.
He seemed like a decent threat. Perhaps he won't be undermined in a later entry in this universe. I spoke too soon, didn't I?
Boy, I'd like to know what the backstory behind Fury losing that eye is. I hope it wasn't something dumb.
Couldn't be.
No, he had to have lost it in like a fight with Wolverine, or maybe like the Soviet version of Captain America or something like that. Had fighting with like a, or maybe a close friend betrayed him, and he had to, fight the guy, had to survive, desperately.
Yeah, it would definitely not be just because he got scratched by a cute pussycat. Okay, so there's a bit in CinemaSin's video on this movie where he's like, "Scene does not contain a lap dance." To which I'm like, I get that it's part of his running gag, but the way he talks about Black Widow throughout these movies, it's like he doesn't see her as anything but, part of his sex fantasies. You get what I mean?
I mean, now that you've said sex fantasies, I can't help but think that the leaves on this guy's neck look like penises.
Oh God!
Thank you for that.
I didn't mean to make it more Freudian.
Why exactly do like bad guys do stuff like that to pretty girls? They like force open in their mouths and look at their teeth. Like, I know that he's about to pull some teeth out, but But like this, it's like a fucking
Perhaps,
running trope.
perhaps it's like, perhaps it's like a common torture method.
Hmm.
Ooh, damn, M. Coulson. He understands enough English to know what he means. Sure about that? Ruh-roh.
Oh, hey, it's a blackberry. I remember those.
Boy, do we feel old.
Oh. And somehow, despite the fact that she's wearing a sexy night dress or evening gown or whatever the fuck it is during this fight, she's still more sexualized in the Black Widow movie.
Somehow.
Oh, my hip! You have broken my hip! Boy!
If only we could have gotten that movie, guys. If only we could have gotten that movie.
Should have been the
But
movie
no.
that immediately followed this one. Or Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
It's just...
Or Captain America the Winter Soldier.
At any point before Age of Ultron, guys.
But no.
Yeah.
Oh, and now we get one thing that in hindsight has become a major disappointment.
The recasting of...
Edward Norton.
Yeah, the recasting of the role of Bruce Banner. And then, of course, you know, they have to have him say his name later, because otherwise we wouldn't know who the fuck this is.
Ruffalo has become a colossal disappointment.
It also doesn't... Okay, Mary Fowler, what are you? What are you doing? Are you spamming? I think you're spamming. I'm going to put you in timeout. I'm also going to delete that. No, wait, I can't... I actually can delete that, but I'm not... Oh, it automatically deleted it when I timed her out. Okay, that's cool.
Good.
Yeah, then... You know, I don't say my name out loud like that. Like, I mean, I'll say, like, my first name. He was like, come on, Alex, what the hell are you doing? And things like that. But, like, I don't say my last name, you know? Like, what, did they think we were going to mistake him for Bruce Wayne? You are not Christian Bale.
Yeah, and like I said, Ruffalo has really let himself go over the years, which is especially noticeable by Thor Ragnarok. Like, he became a lot chubbier.
Yeah, and, well, it also doesn't help.
And he used to actually be somewhat muscular.
Worse.
Yeah, and he's used to be somewhat muscular, especially by Age of Ultron for his obligatory shirtless scene. But yeah.
Yeah.
He is the full-on beta cuck that we've seen that he's showcased himself as.
And like I said, the CGI quality has gone downhill immensely.
At least No Way Home made up for that, for the most part.
Yeah,
there were still some green screen issues, but overall the CG was really good in that movie.
Oh yeah,
especially in the
drastically better made than every other Phase 4 film thus far.
You know, I can imagine
Natasha. First-gen iPhone.
Perhaps. You know, I could actually imagine Natasha kind of saying like, "Hey, you do this, you get to see Betty again."
Yeah.
Because, you know, that way we could actually have Betty Ross be in these be in this stuff instead of her just being in the one movie and then just not being in anything at all. Because why the hell did we not have Liv Tyler, guys? Come on.
You know,
He's good.
yeah, this is something I can really seriously imagine
Banner
doing, yeah.
Like faking losing his cool just to see what they'll do.
Yeah, because he knows if they start messing with him, Hulk's got his back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, first hints of the Tesseract enhanced weaponry.
Mm-hmm. I think one of those councilmen. I have to wonder. Are all these councilmen consistently played in these movies? Like, are the actor?
Well, I don't see Robert Redford anywhere on this, so
I swear, the moment ooh, already thinking of Phase 2, right?
Yeah.
I mean, granted, they definitely earned the opportunity of doing Phase 2, but
yeah, what's her name in the middle there? I think that actress does reprise in The Winter Soldier. That's the one that Black Widow
Natasha disguised herself as.
Yeah.
You know, since I kind of imagined certain aspects of Shield being changed.
Cap still wearing pants, way too tight for his body.
Well, we gotta show off America's ass somehow.
Yeah, but it's not particularly comfortable for America's balls.
Perhaps that's why he wears a cod piece.
I haven't done that, but I've come damn close. I'm not saying that it's like easy to do. I'm just saying
I know Gar's done that, and he doesn't even have, and in his human form he doesn't even have the super strength.
I actually tore apart a cheap punching bag doing that to it.
You mean 69 years? You woke up in 2011.
The MCU timeline has got no consistency whatsoever. Haven't you figured this out by now, Kevin?
Right. And here's the thing. And Homecoming still had that script error.
Homecoming and Black Panther, by the way.
Oh, God. Why did they keep that in?
I don't know.
Like, I may enjoy that movie, but even I notice these things that are stupid.
It's not a bad movie. It's just like, guys, could we maybe tone down on like all the shit that's allegedly going on in 2016 or whatever the hell, you know?
Yeah.
Because 2016 is a busier year than 2011 in the MCU.
Hence why I would suggest we fill up quite a few of these years.
Yeah.
I mean, after all, 2013 only has like Thor going on in the MCU, so
well, we can easily just slot Throne of Atlantis in there.
One problem with our Throne of Atlantis.
Oh yeah.
Its place beginning of 2015. Like at that point, that would be when the Avengers are trying to get.
What the hell are you gonna be doing with that damn punching bag at your apartment?
He's gonna be smacking it.
No, I'm gonna take that home and try to fuck it.
Oh my god.
He's gonna put that picture of Peggy that he keeps in his compass is on the punching bag thing, and he's gonna pretend that's her.
And to think, and what I have planned for Stark Tower, I
Oh
imagine
yeah.
Tony's just gonna be like, what the hell?
Oh yeah, another thing. Like there's some issues, let's say, with some of the some of the
I
things.
do love the aspect of Pepper actually having quite a bit it more or rather quite a bit of influence in Stark Industries.
Yeah.
Because it feels like it's kind of a step up, especially for her character.
Yes, indeed. Oh yeah. If you look closely, you will see that she is barefoot in these scenes.
While considering this is basically another house to them, why would she need to wear shoes?
Well, yeah, but there's a practical purpose for it too. Robert Downey Jr. is actually shorter than her. Like Gwyneth, this is Gwyneth Paltrow.
And let's not forget the fact that people kind of made a bit of a big deal out of. I'm not sure who made a
Gwyneth
big deal
Paltrow.
out of it, but I know people made a big deal out of Zendaya being at least a couple inches taller than Tom Holland.
That must be fun for the two of them in bed.
Considering he's planning to make a family with her.
You know, if the two of them like stick together after they inevitably decide to reboot the Spider-Man stuff again, and I'll
They're
give
planning on
them
making
credit.
like three more. They plan on making like three more movies. Is with this, so it's likely that at some point,
Yeah.
okay, that was a good one. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm thinking like at some point, ain't Ned and
Oh yeah,
MJ are just gonna
this
be
was
like,
back when Joss
I
Whedon
feel,
actually watched the other movies.
yep, when there was actual consistency, as
Oh.
opposed to how Age of Ultron, as you said, torpedoed the character development of Captain America and Natasha.
Yeah, take a look at those fucking chunk heels he's got on. And I didn't know they made sneakers that thick.
Uh, that's got to be like a few foot sizes bigger than him.
Oh yeah.
I have to constantly remind myself of the fact that in my writing, just like BB and is
Oh
like
yeah, I hate these
like
semi-trans.
three
Oh,
inches
look at
is three
that. It's
inches
footage from the
shorter than
Incredible Hulk.
Raven.
It's footage
Because
from the
remember,
Incredible
Raven's
Hulk, but
like
it's using a picture of Ruffalo next to it.
right. Anyway, you know how Raven's like 5'11" and Beast Boy's like 5'8".
Yeah.
It's like at first she sees that it's a bit of a concern, but then Gar's like, fine. Besides, there's a benefit to tall girls.
Oh yeah. Tall girls are
As
the only girls who are as tall as I am.
Oh. I still love how like near the end of Homecoming, when Peter just kind of humbly declines Tony's invitation. He's like, I think I'm gonna stick to being a small time person. Then and Pepper's like, hey, wait a minute, where's the kid? And Tony's like, well,
I think we
he
might
kind
have
of
taught
thought,
him the lesson a little too well.
And then they're like, you know what? We got a different bombshell we're gonna throw at these people.
And the funny thing was, they didn't actually tell Gwyneth Paltrow that that was being shot for Spider-Man. They told her that that was for Avengers.
You know who in the My Hero Academia
Not in the
AU
weird,
version of this?
not the weird way.
Anyway, you know who they replaced Coulson with in the My Hero Academia version of this in the fan comic?
Who?
Aizawa.
Okay. That
So
makes sense.
Aizawa would be talking to Deku, who was saying like it's not her. I was watching you. It was sleep, not in a weird way.
That's a good one. I like that. And it's like, Coulson says that, and he's like, he immediately realizes that sounds creepy as fuck. Let me clarify.
Coulson made it specifically so that it would highlight his ass.
And then Coulson went on to become, you know, an even
Ghost
better
Rider.
character in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He was the only character in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. who had consistent writing, but... And then they killed him.
And then
Again. Like, seriously, the guy died already.
And CinemaSins claimed that people would need to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to find out why the Avengers are invading Strucker's base at the beginning of Age of Ultron.
You really don't?
No, you don't. It's just a reward.
I'd say that's a kind of a flaw of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that it wasn't, like, more integral to the MCU, but...
It tried to be, but at the same time, it wasn't really.
But now, you know, and I'll save the bulk of this discussion for Monday, but, you know, now that the Netflix shows are definitely canon to the rest of the MCU, that raises more questions.
I'm guessing because there are some contradictions within Daredevil. Jessica Jones, Luke Cage,
not necessarily
Iron Fist,
contradictions.
and Defenders.
Just, you know, that thing where I keep complaining, like, the evil Ninja Clan was setting up
the Hand?
And the Hand is setting up in Spider-Man's literal backyard, trying to blow up his town, on his hometown, and now the fact that that they definitely exist in the same universe is, you know, that raises a few questions.
It just raises too many questions.
It intensifies the questions that already existed. This guy reminds me of the mouth of Sauron from The Lord of the Rings.
You mean the Eye of Sauron?
No, the mouth of Sauron.
What? Mouth. What was considered the mouth?
Have you not seen the extended cut?
I've seen the extended cut of all 3 movies.
Alright, it's this Hellraiser-looking motherfucker.
Oh, now I remember. Yeah, I've seen that from Return of the King.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I remember that guy. It's been a while. It's been a little while.
Well, hello, sexy spy. I hope you know I have a thing for sexy secret agents. It's the only word I care about. Captain America being Captain America, as always. Fuck you, Ultimatum. I think it was Ultimatum. I can't remember what the comic was. I think it was Ultimatum, where Ultimate Quicksilver and Ultimate Scarlet Witch were boning, and Cap was like, "That's weird,"
What?
And somebody was like, "Hey, that's kind of backwards of you." And it's like, no, Captain America is conveying, yeah, no, this is not If this was a submarine, it would be a mistake for everybody to be up on the deck right now.
Yes, it would.
But oh man, I wish I had the Lego set of this.
The helicarrier.
Oh yeah. Like I would I
I
love
love
the
the
helicarrier so
helicarrier.
much.
Yeah. We both love it. Really nice, iconic HQ for the Avengers.
Oh yeah.
I imagine Batman would just be like, I'm gonna have to get Lucius on the phone.
Hi, Lucius. I need a bat carrier.
Mr. Wayne, why would you need something like that?
Because. Oh. That's kind of a shame. The Lego helicarriers are lame.
By the way, there were a couple bits of ad-libbing in this movie that we will make note of.
Oh yes.
That plenty of people know of. So, and even though they
Shield
didn't,
has cloaking technology.
and even though they, which was also implemented in Homecoming, and for the attempted delivery of various equipment.
It's almost like there's a giant plot hole in Black Widow with that fucking satellite thing roaming around without the cloaking
The Red
tech.
Room.
Yeah, the Red Room satellite air base, whatever the
Why
fuck.
did they never use cloaking tech for that?
Well, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. All this shit leaked out after Hydra, but...
Yeah. You would think after Hydra leaked out everything, they'd just be like, the Red Room would be a lot more cautious.
Yeah.
I can't wait to write a certain someone teaming up with Natasha and Barton to take down the Red Room. You agree?
Oh, yeah. SHIELD has no shortage of enemies. Also, Hydra has no shortage of people willing to help take things down a notch.
And I think after all this, it'll drive Selvig a little crazier than usual.
Indeed.
It's seen in Thor: The Dark World.
The last remotely decent Thor movie.
We'll get to Ragnarok when we get to Ragnarok.
Too much rock, not enough Ragna.
But Ragna
Oh, look at
is
that.
not even...
Steve is wearing stuff that my grandpa would wear, which actually makes a lot of sense.
Now, I have a question. Why isn't Loki's entrance theme, y'all ready for this, by Jock Jams?
Probably because that would be incredibly out of place. And
It'd be-
something Taika Waititi would do.
I was more making a reference to the riff track of this movie.
I haven't seen the riff tracks of this movie. I pretty much only watch...
Actually kind of funny. Riff tracks
Yeah.
kind of went a little downhill after they, succumbed to Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah, fortunately they've managed to keep most of that out of their live shows.
Yes.
I love their live shows.
Oh, I do love the mood setting for this. It's like they're playing the music while, all this is going down.
Yeah, the funny thing is,
Oh.
going back to this film, it's like if Zack Snyder directed it by comparison into some of the MCU films that were to follow.
I'm sure somebody made a if Zack Snyder directed it, the Avengers.
Oh yeah.
Y'all ready for this?
I love how he just walks up, baseball bats that guy in the face. Hi, I need your eye. There's probably an easy way for me to get to it, but
You don't want this party started.
I'm going to do it this way.
Yeah, you do.
Phew! Kneel before. Wait, I'm not Zod.
If Zack Snyder directed this, there would be so much me, and pseudo-philosophy, me, moody lighting, me, and bad guys being evil. Christ.
Who said this?
I've honestly lost track. I don't remember.
But people have still said this.
Oh, yeah.
You don't get what he means.
Me, too many technical stuff. Me, where did Captain America come from?
America's ass. Natasha, you act like conventional weapons are going to do anything to him.
What will I do about this dumb minigun? It's not like I have a magical staff that I can use to blow your stupid ship out of the air.
You know, someone is basically taken the liberty of taking every shot of Cap's back, and well, here we go. I bet you that's what Tony said to Natasha after he died. I had met her in the afterlife. Can you imagine that?
Tony just hacks hacks his iPod playlist into everybody's ears. Tony, where did you keep that rocket launcher on your wrist?
Oh, and fun fact, Rock of Age Tony calling Loki Rock of Ages is actually something that was used in Jeopardy.
Oh yeah, look at that. An actual physical fucking collar. So that the shadows around his neck don't look like shit Civil War.
Uh-oh.
It doesn't look like Tony Stark's head is floating in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Imagine, like, our Loki just being like, or they question, what's the matter, are you afraid of lightning? Loki just, under the lasso, is like, I'm not overly fond of what follows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get over here.
Get over here.
I have a plan. Attack. Chuck Huber also delivered that line in Death Battle quite... I well... Demigods.
Pretty sure he doesn't dress like that. Meanwhile, in our version, and Cap's just like, I've been dealing with this shit for 80 years. I don't care anymore. I met Hercules. Pretty sure he's stronger than these two.
I love how
Well, you
how
don't
Thor
have a
is so...
PS4 controller in front of you, so no.
I love how Thor is just so done with Loki right now. Oh, you're gonna think that at least is one more time. Remember, I'm adopted. Would you say that when they mention when Thor mentions the fact that Loki's adopted, he just says happily adopted?
What's so amazing?
I remember you falling off of my hand when I was trying to pull you up. Because you let go, you fucking idiot.
Remember, Loki is kind of self-centered, so he tries not to remember. So he ends up, like not remembering everything the way he thinks he does. I mean, later on, he even brags about letting go in the first Thor movie. He's like, and then I let go. A guy that looks like Grimace. And remember, in the third Marvel What If, Thor, or without his stripped of his powers, was killed by Clint Barton, and Hank ended up causing him to misfire.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
I'm listening.
I love that.
Perfect comedic timing.
He's like, I'm listening. Hello. Oh, here's the first ad-lib bit that everyone knows about. Shakespeare in the Park. Doth mother know you weareth her drapes?
And an actual helmet with actual lights, so that we can actually have actual on-set actuals.
And remember, for the action bits, they did have to use CG for the Iron Man suit because of how RDJ felt being inside of that thing.
Oh yeah, no, I can't fucking blame them. I'm just saying, like, whenever they're going to be visible, just have, like, a top piece, a helmet, a shoulder piece, a collar so that you can actually see shit.
Kind of interesting how Tony becomes paranoid after this movie, considering how he actually held his own against Thor. Or here. with the Iron Man 2 suit, no less.
Yeah.
And some people say like, oh, Tony felt a little too overpowered in the Joss Whedon Avengers movies.
I mean, no, he's operating. He got literal Thor power shoved right into his heart. Of course, he's a little bit overpowered.
No, I mean, as in like the fact that he does quite a lot compared to some of the other Avengers.
Have they seen the other movies? Have they seen any of the previous films? I was like, yeah, he does a lot, but he's also
It's just
one of
more
the
in
main
the.
characters.
It's just more in the way of like how Tony's given pretty much everything to do, whereas everybody else is just like, oh, they're just there in comparison. Like Cap is mostly characterized as the old man who says the old man things.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna put the hammer down. One hit from a Mjolnir on that vibranium shield was enough to cause that. And yet,
it's like
none of the...
Handla whacking his drum.
And... Why am I thinking the Zelda enemy when you mentioned Manhandla?
Because that's what I was talking about.
Why is that plant named Manhandla?
I don't know.
It's hilarious. That's what it is.
Oh wait, no, I was thinking about the not the
plant.
Not the plant thing. I was thinking more about what's the Bongo Bongo. I was thinking of Bongo Bongo.
Yeah, Bongo Bongo's the drummer, not Manhandla.
all I remembered was the hands.
So you just thought Manhandla?
Hands, Manhandla. That's got to be it, right? And who was the Bongo Bongo remake that they had in Wind Waker?
I don't know. Anyway, you really think that's gonna kill him? Then again,
considering he survived a fall through space and time, no.
A customer that frequented my CVS has pointed out like how comics Loki could take on the likes of the Silver Surfer and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's desperate enough to the point where he'll think that he could tame Godzilla. That's how desperate he is.
Hey Godzilla, I'm here to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative.
Screonk!
Do we have a translator that can tell me what that means in Giant Lizard?
I think that means yes.
Unlimited power.
Let me know if Real Power wants a magazine or something. One part of the riff track was basically just saying like, oh, Nick Fury is trying so hard not to drop an F-bomb in a PG-13 movie. And the Chitauri in the comics are supposed to be shapeshifters.
And they, will later contradict the the army of not of any world known thing.
Never tried that.
The brains back. That metaphor doesn't even make any sense, but it makes perfect sense. He's adopted.
And they call back to that in Thor Ragnarok when the shoe is on the other foot. And of course, that'll also come back in Thor Ragnarok as well.
Yeah. Somebody was actually paying attention when they wrote that, but Taika Waititi wasn't the one who wrote that.
Oh, that's another ad-lib bit. Tony just randomly says some rando guy is playing Galaga.
And then
sure it is.
Joss Whedon, rather than cutting it like some directors would have done, he actually matted that into the screen.
Yep. And even added the post-credit scene that we'll see later on. Like, no joke. It's like RDJ just like says the thing about shawarma. Like, oh, there's a shawarma place down here. I've always wanted to try it. And then he's like, and then they actually just have the cast go in and eat shawarma.
Yeah, and the reason why Chris Evans has his hand over his face is because he grew a beard for the movie Snowpiercer.
Oh, that's interesting.
So they've got like this weird rubber jaw on him, and they're using his hand to cover up his face.
It's not magic, Steve. See, that's kind of what I meant. Like, they kind of make him the old man that's as knows the old man things.
Chris Evans didn't think that line worked at first, and then he saw like an early
Oh,
cut
there
of the
it
film,
is.
and he was like, yeah. And then he saw an early cut of the film, and he was like, okay, that actually does work. Like, meanwhile, on the other hand, like I'm worried that I've turned Cap too much into our universe's version of Iron Man. You know?
Don't worry about it.
But I've also got like a bunch of shit planned.
Why do you think I'm helping with this endeavor?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and the 78 Black Sabbath tour shirt. If I remember the story correctly, RDJ just showed up wearing that shirt, or they like cleared it right before Joss got to filming.
Like Cap doesn't really have too much of a character in this movie.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Kinda.
Which unfortunately continues in Age of Ultron, despite him receiving character development in Winter Soldier, as you've talked about in your review of Black Widow.
Yeah.
Power of the sun in the palm of his hands. Even if he said that line twice, I still loved how Melina delivered that. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
him
love how
subtly
Tony
planting.
I
that
love how
thing there.
Tony has like this transparent phone on him.
I hate transparent screens like that. Like there are a few that exist in real life. One of
But
them
I
is at the
get, but I
college,
can,
and
but I actually can kind of understand why Tony does this.
oh yeah, well yeah, he invented all this shit, so of course he'd
He,
fucking
and
use it.
plus he, and plus, of course he's gonna show
Oh
off
yeah,
all that.
that bag of blueberries was actually just a bag of blueberries that he hid on set. Like
He, like I've said in our Iron Man 1 commentary, he's infamous for bringing food on the set.
yep, and yeah, RDJ, he just like when he was going around planting stuff earlier, that's just a preemptive.
I also feel like this is kind of a, I feel like this is kind of like a subtle of foreshadowing to how suspicious Shield is going to be by Winter Soldier.
That had to be a lot of attention to detail right there, or to make sure
Like
everything is.
you see how Tony and Banner are in the same room,
Yeah.
and how there's like hardly any color whatsoever,
Do
or
you
to the
see?
scene.
Yeah, but do you see like the CGI on the screen here? Because there's no way in hell you can actually, like back in 2012, there's no way in hell they were actually rendering this stuff and interacting with it, and this
Yeah.
all has to be CGI. So it's just
Mhm.
it's incredible the amount of the attention to detail they had here, and it's
Right.
just, it's
Age of Ultron at least did them in the same room a tad better through for a visual standpoint, since there's a bit more to the color palette to look at.
mm-hmm.
So, and plus they actually were doing more than just us looking for the cube. They were actually building something.
Yeah. Now, for as many Black Sabbath references as we've had throughout the MCU, I'm very glad Ozzy Osbourne has never made an appearance. Because, like, Ozzy's a great musician, but he's also a fucking sellout. Like,
Yeah.
he's as much of a sellout as the guys from Kiss are at this point. And,
Which kind of sucks.
yeah. And him showing up in here, or in any of this stuff in any capacity, it would make him suck more, and it would make it suck more. It's like when he showed up in Ghostbusters, the Answer the Call, the remake, Like him showing up there didn't elevate the remake, it just made him look worse.
Are you talking the 2016 movie?
The remake, yeah. Ozzy didn't appear in any other Ghostbusters film, to my knowledge. Oh yeah, Jane Foster is mentioned in this film, but she is Lady not appearing in this film.
Once again, we'll get to Monty Python when we get to it.
Yes, indeed.
He plans to make him into a laughingstock in the next movie by having some mind fuckery with him. And Logan just be like,
huh. See, like, I know Bold
point, I would
Stripe as
just
being like
at that point I would probably have Wolverine just be like, I've met an immortal caveman before, and that what you just said right now is the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah,
Thor,
that would be quite
just,
the statement coming from Wolverine.
And Thor would just be like, what's a caveman? You've got
Tony Stark just says it's a man who lives in a cave. Keep up there, Point Break.
And Though Batman would just have the most boring response of Homo Neanderthal. I'm so confused. I get the impression that that's going to be a running line of ours. Just the character going, I am so confused. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Oh yeah, but why does Natasha have the Black Widow symbol on her belt? Here.
I don't know. They thought it probably looked good on the costume.
Yeah, but then they go on to make the Black Widow program and all that shit, and it, like, you'd think that she wouldn't, you know?
Yeah, but it's kind of her logo.
Well, yeah.
Ooh.
Hence my statement that Black Widow's depiction of the female form transcends nudity, because we get even more shots of ScarJo's ass in even tighter clothing than we do in this film.
Yep, and of course Florence Pugh and Rachel Weisz have been seen naked from behind. Not in the MCU, but
Yes. Sadly, it would have elevated that movie into being, you know, something a little bit better than.
what it was.
Yeah.
And then there and then we have the DC AMU that tried to boast having full frontal in Suicide Squad Hell to Pay, but all I saw was a featureless crotch and barely any boobage.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was like that really didn't have a whole lot of nudity in it, and technically, I think there was
And
more
sadly,
nudity
we've
in
seen,
other films.
like in Justice League versus Titans,
Mm-hmm.
though not of the female form, of the male form.
I try to forget about that.
Many of us do, but it lives rent-free in our heads. Would you want to order an eviction?
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's never gonna happen. That movie is living rent-free on my shelf.
Justice League, Justice League versus Titans.
Yeah.
Because I could have sworn Apocalypse War held that distinction.
Both of them live rent-free on my shelf.
Yeah, but the thing is that one of those movies is actually good.
Good, yes.
And it's the one that that scene I mentioned.
Yeah, this is another one of those things where we're getting, like, organic exploration of the, Oh, yeah, they wouldn't, Mewling Quim was the concession, because they wouldn't let Joss write the line, "You mewling cunt."
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look at that! You just got outsmarted, Mr. Smarty Pants. The prankster god got pranked.
Basically, yeah, but mewling quim means whining vagina.
Yeah. Well, it's the same meaning, it's just, you know.
Yeah. First, Phase 2 has Iron Man 3, then Thor the Dark World, then Captain America the Winter Soldier. Then we introduce a whole new team of superheroes. Those starring that one guy from Parks and Recreation.
And look at that, you can't see his glasses clipping through the green screen.
Oh dear.
That is an excellent amount of attention to detail that we will not see in future MCU films.
Hilariously outgunned. Sure. Well, it sometimes is more about you than most other people. Whoa, what's going on with the camera there, guys? Oh, they've located the Mind Stone. How do you feel about the retractable bow that Hawkeye wields?
Hell of a lot better than the retractable bow Oliver had in the fucking Arrow
Show.
show.
I have to imagine like Ollie and and Clint and just getting into a how many guys can they take out in one battle contest with their bows? But Ollie's goal is ultimately to take somebody out with the boxing glove arrow. Want to know why?
Why?
Want to know why, Alex?
Why?
He wanted to make the guys scream when he gets hit. His ringtone. He's like, and recorded. Oh. Yep, now it's my ringtone.
Absolute perfect pacing.
Yep. While they're in the middle of this tense moment, Clint will not miss. That was actually a pretty good shot.
Oh yeah. I'm distracted by Steve's luscious eyelashes. I know, I've tried. And now this line won't make any sense to people who haven't seen the alternate opening of The Incredible Hulk.
No. He turned into Ugandan Hulk's. He's
Do
like,
you-
I spit at you.
Do you know the way, brother?
How did this get in my hand? Ladies, you're both beautiful.
Oh my god, the Tesseract is right here. Oh shit!
Yeah, good idea. I still kind of imagine like the dramatic reveal during this scene, or during the scene when Coulson is about to get killed by Zod.
Oh yeah.
I imagine John, like quote unquote John Jones, just coming in and restraining Zod, and then Zod's like, "Wait a minute, how are you this strong?" Then he just shifts into Martian Manhunter, and Coulson be like, "What the hell?" And Coulson's like, "Hey, wait, I thought you were." Wait,
Quite
so
the missed opportunity not to have Iron Man's theme song playing here, but Iron Man hasn't had a consistent theme song ever. Iron Man is the one character in the MCU who has the single most leitmotifs associated with him. Like, aside from the AC/DC licensed soundtrack, it's also a bunch of other stuff. Like, Ramin Djawadi, John Debney, Alan Silvestri, Brian Tyler, Michael Giacchino. That's like 6 different theme songs, plus the AC/DC music.
oh, why did Hulk wear thong today? Why does Hulk ever wear thong? Can you imagine if he transformed into Hulk and then he just realized that he had a thong on?
That would be
just extremely painful.
Yeah.
For the nearest person to him.
Thong make Hulk angry. You don't like Hulk when Hulk angry.
God damn it! You act like I know what that means.
Yeah, Cap's theme reprises, just about the only theme to do so in this film.
I mean, who composed the theme music for... I'm sorry, that was funny.
Who composed the theme music for?
For Winter Soldier.
That would have been... I don't remember off the top of my head.
Hulk kind of reminds me of that one X-Men villain. What was he called? Oh yeah,
Juggernaut?
It's Juggernaut. No, Juggernaut, bitch.
Yeah.
That's his full name.
Music by Henry Jackman. Henry Jackman also did the music for Civil War.
His compositions was pretty good.
Unfortunately, in Civil War, none of his compositions from the previous film actually were reprised. They had a whole new main title theme. Neither of Cap's previous themes or the previous themes of the movies showed up later, so,
Kind of a shame, but
Spider-Man and Captain America are the only ones who have had their theme music reprised more often than, like, once or twice. Well, reprised, period, I'll say.
I kind of...
Oh, wait, except for, Iron Man's, Brian Tyler's Iron Man theme showed up in his Age of Ultron score.
He's giving the look like he just can't anchor a stack of White Castle. How many things do you think Mjolnir's crashed through prior to getting there?
I think it crashed through some guy's lunch. Like,
Hey, that was my lunch. Hulk tried to do this with a quarter on the street. Oh, and CinemaSins also completely ignored that scene where
have you seen the
Hulk was lifting Mjolnir in this, and suggested that Banner turns into Hulk just to lift up Mjolnir. In the Age of Ultron scene where they're all drunk.
Yes, because that wasn't one of the most famous scenes in the Avengers or anything.
Copy. I will proceed to get as close as possible. What in the hell did I just say?
That is not how hover jets work. You don't just
what
point the afterburner at the ground.
You know what I think was a pretty good composition done by Henry Jackman?
What?
The Winter Soldier theme.
Oh yeah, the Winter Soldier theme is fucking great. Reminds me a lot of the Joker's theme from The Dark Knight, but it's like more.
I got too close.
It's scarier and more controlled. Like the Joker's theme in The Dark Knight is pure chaos, whereas Winter Soldier's theme is just pure menace.
Surprisingly, that pilot didn't die.
Oh, that guy remembered to bring his parachute.
No. That guy remembered to make sure that his parachute worked.
He remembered to bring the parachute pants today.
And Winter Soldier was the 7th highest grossing movie of 2014. Behind Days of Future Past. And Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. And Maleficent. And Guardians of the Galaxy. And The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. And goddamn Transformers 4.
At least it wasn't Transformers 5.
That wouldn't come out until years later.
I know. Why, the things that are labeled the last anything are usually pretty bad. Like The Last Stand, The Last Knight, The Last Jedi. Last Starfighter was pretty good, though.
Oh, though Winter Soldier still outdid those damn Dirty Apes and TASM 2.
TASM 2 would have easily outdone Winter Soldier if they hadn't fucked it up.
No. It's not even just that. It's mostly the fact that that people were still kind of lukewarm towards the reception of TASM 1.
Well, here's the thing.
And meanwhile, Cap proceeds to aim like a goddamn stormtrooper.
Yeah, hey, Captain America, you're a fucking super soldier. Act like it, goddammit.
Oh my god, I love this. Oh, he just got punked like he was in the Peanuts. Hey. And This is actually a pretty decent fight scene.
Oh yeah.
And
you see the two characters using off their skills in combat.
I also, and you know, one thing I want to kind of gush about. I know it's early, but I love how visceral all Spider-Man's fights were with Green Goblin in No Way Home. Like
Yeah,
they
well,
were surprisingly visceral in
that's
that
also
movie.
a repeat of how visceral they were in
Spider-Man 1.
yeah.
To which I'm like, how can it not be? When you say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, damn it. I mean, Green Goblin is one of the most personal enemies of Spider-Man's roster of villains.
Oh yeah.
So for it not to be visceral would be a bit, weird. And would you really expect something like that out of an MCU Spider-Man movie?
I certainly didn't. I'd like to see more stuff like if they could get the fight choreographers from the Daredevil show to oh yeah, that's you're twisting that arm like that and bending against that elbow. Oh, that is a great way to make somebody wind up in a lot of pain. It's also like you see in the fight choreography, Natasha is doing her best to not hurt Clint, whereas Clint is out to kill her, basically.
Yeah, that's a good dip. That's a good way to establish the dynamic of this fight. She just had to make sure. Owie! Owie! I know this couldn't kill me, but...
Somehow this is more embarrassing.
Really now? Where did you get that idea from? A fortune cookie?
This isn't an Ace Attorney game, Coulson. I don't need to get a conviction.
Meanwhile, Cap is still hanging on the edge of tomorrow.
I'm on the edge of glory, and I'm feeling at the moment of truth. It's kind of stupid that Cap wasn't able to shoot these guys. Because, you remember him, knocking guys out of trees with his shield in the last movie, right?
Yeah, it's shameful that he has Stormtrooper aim in this movie and Tony had to do everything. Now you get what I mean?
Kind of overcompensated for that by having Cap shoot a fucking Hydra plane out of the air with a fucking 1911, but,
It's whatever.
We're allowed to have wacky shit happen. It's a science fiction show.
Yeah, come on. we should be able to suspend our disbelief for things. I mean, hell, we have, like I said, we have a green shapeshifter who got his powers triggered from getting bitten by a green monkey and a serum. Because I kind of imagine the serum not being what triggered what gave him his powers. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, I imagine the serum just being what triggers his metagene. He's dead. Alex.
Yeah. He's dead, Jim.
Jim Gordon be like, who's dead? How did he get in this line? How? How'd he do that? Batman be like, I invited him. The trading in cards.
Based on classic Captain America comic book covers.
Nice.
And that's based on an Alex Ross painting.
Cool.
Hang on, that's a Triforce in the center there. I just now noticed that. And look on the forehead of that thing. It's the Triforce. You know, this is probably the last time Coulson will be seen in the MCU. Oh wait, there's that there's
Thing
Agents
that
of
never
S.H.I.E.L.D., which
happened.
isn't canon anymore. And
And
then
then there's
also
that thing that we both agreed never happened.
yeah. And then also, this is also the last time Nick Fury will be seen to be the manipulative spy master in an Avengers movie.
Convenient places to cover up Ruffalo's naughty bits.
This is kind of alluding to a really stupid thing from I think it was the series that was going on around the time that Civil War was happening. And was it the Planet Hulk show? The Planet Hulk game? Fucking comic. Goddamn, I'm trying to think comics. Was it the
I think it was the
Planet
show.
Hulk? Okay, whatever it was. There was a Planet Hulk thing going on at this time. And at the time of the Civil War comic. And it was the they said that like Hulk retains Banner's brain and makes it even, his brain even crazier, like even crazier, smarter, and they basically tried to say, oh, Hulk like times his
It's
punches
sad that
and
they
stuff so he doesn't
turned,
cause any damage,
It's sad that they
or
turned
collateral
Barton
damage.
into into an hearing impaired guy.
Well, they never seem to be consistent about that, do they?
No, they're not. Don't you dare do that to yourself, or I will smack you again.
So have you been watching the Hawkeye show?
Hell no.
Yeah, neither have I.
And it turns out Spider-Man No Way Home has actually kind of destroyed the box office.
Yeah, it's headed for $1 billion. It's headed for hi Hal 9000. It's headed for actually, being a a success unlike every other fucking MCU film in Phase 4 thus far.
Some people is, and then of course Natasha's movie was basically literally not even about her. It was about her stupid family.
Mm-hmm. A supporting role in her own solo film.
Just stupid. We both did things that we're not proud of.
Mm-hmm.
I had to voice a sexual sounding snake in a Jungle Book remake, which I'm like, in hindsight, I don't know what's worse: the creepy snake that makes Winnie the Pooh sound like a child molester, or the sexy sounding snake that might actually lure in quite a number of people. Neither sounds appealing. Wouldn't you agree?
I mean, I'm thinking about. Oh yeah, look at the.
Look at
Did you
the
see
what?
that the arc reactor like turned between shots?
I think so.
Oh yeah,
See,
this is
Tony,
also one of the few MCU movies directly based on a comic that actually adapts it without major changes. Like this,
neat.
yeah, this one is basically like a straight adaptation of the first issue of the Avengers minus Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Which Nerderotic calls the Wasp and Ant-Man just because it's more about Wasp.
God damn it, Clint, why are you more ripped than Captain America right now?
You know, I once said to voice actor Brian B. Cook, I'm like, is it weird that you look kind of like Jeremy Renner? And he's like, no, I get that a lot.
Huh. I met a
And here's
guy,
the thing.
like a
Here's the
guy
thing,
came into
Brian.
work and ordered a sub who looked exactly like David Hayter, sounded nothing like him. And then a little while later, somebody who sounded like Ernie Hudson came in. Just
Just
don't.
just kindly step out and let us do our thing. Anyway, as I was saying, it's like, where was I going? Crap. I lost my train of thought again. Whoop.
Yeah. Yeah. Fury will outside of the Winter Soldier, Fury will no longer be the manipulative spy master after this film.
So Batman and Fury will try to outdo each other on
The Batman Gambits?
on contingency plans.
Oh, certainly.
They'd just be like, I've got a contingency plan in for you. Yeah, well, I've got a contingency plan for you. Or a contingency plan. I've got a contingency plan for your contingency plan for my contingency plan. And the two of them just go back and forth while everybody else is like, hey, what is even happening right now?
Oh yeah, what you call it, that waitress down there will have no importance unless you've seen the deleted scenes of this film. Almost every deleted scene in this film, like most of the deleted scenes in the MCU, should have been in the film.
Yeah.
You know, I can kind of tell on the 4K that that's a stand-in the wide shot, but it still looks enough like Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah.
Yeah, that particular Black Sabbath tour T-shirt is from a decade before.
Think you're anything
Legend of Zelda.
What I think you had in mind was like Loki being the one to try to threaten Zod in this instance.
Oh yeah,
as opposed to Tony doing it.
Because I think it makes a bit more sense, and I also think that you know, it would be a wasted opportunity to not have Loki and Zod show up and you know, have a big speech off.
And I love how in your version of that speech, you kind of made Loki sound like he was saying Batman was an assassin. Batman and Tim were assassins.
Yeah. Well,
to which I'm like, no, they're not.
They're not, but he'd probably
I have an army, we have a
way.
Hulk. There are many memes that have spawned just because of this movie.
Oh, yeah. And you know,
imagine Black Sabbath
tried to recreate the mimetic content of this film several times and failed every time. Not just Marvel, but...
That's debatable.
Well...
Because remember, there's still plenty of mimetic quality within every other MCU movie. Especially after this one.
Okay, yeah, but the ones I'm talking about are the ones that failed terribly.
Like?
Oh, Black Widow. All this shit about family being more pernicious than it is in the Fast and the Furious.
Oh, so you're more referring to, like, the stuff after Phase 3?
Yeah. But then,
that
makes makes
stuff more sense.
Outside of the MCU where they tried to recreate the mimetic qualities of the MCU, who more specifically this film in stuff like, Justice League and you know.
Don't worry, there is one meme that transcends all other memes in DC from Justice League. That mustache. We'll fix it in post, they say.
We'll fix it in post, they say. It'll look fine, they say. We're not gonna rush out a bunch of scenes shot on a fucking cell phone. To the point where watching it on the cam rip looked better than watching it on the 4K. I'm not kidding, by the way. Like, the 4K, looks like shit for Justice League. Hey, you can't tell the special effects look so bad in the camera.
This is why we have Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yes, it is.
And why we will never be commentating over Justice League.
Oh, you don't wanna comment on Mr. Wobbly Lips.
No, I never want to watch that movie again.
Fun fact: the set people gave Robert Downey. Oh, I see the cord there, guys. You couldn't have fixed that. Lowry, you scrubbed the grain off of the first 4 or 5 MCU films. You couldn't have fixed that cord. Anyways. What was I saying beforehand? Oh yeah, you don't want to comment on Mr. Wobbly Lips.
No, I never want to watch that movie again.
Oh yeah,
I've already had to
take
see
note,
it twice.
Chronicle, you this is how you create background implements. Also, up until a certain point, they actually had a version of Oscorp Tower in the skyline for this. But oh yeah, the set people gave Robert Downey Jr. the A from Avengers Tower for his birthday. That's what I was trying to say. Anyways, up to a certain point in the production of this film, in the previs, Hawkeye also fucked up what order the letters fell off of Stark Tower in. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, up to a certain point, the Oscorp Tower from The Amazing Spider-Man was actually in the previs of this movie, as was Avengers Tower in The Amazing Spider-Man. And up until the point that The Amazing Spider-Man was delayed until after this film was set to be released, there was actually a plan in place for Andrew Garfield to make a cameo appearance in this film.
But no.
Yeah, the deal fell through, and Spider-Man would not appear in the MCU until the execrable Captain America Civil War.
I really have to ponder what exactly Kevin Feige was going through when they finally realized, oh, they could have Spider-Man now.
I would love to know what would happen if we lived in the alternate universe where not only, because it wasn't supposed to be a cameo appearance originally. Like, The Amazing Spider-Man was supposed to release in late 2011, and then Andrew Garfield was supposed to be part of this group of the Avengers. So, I would like to know what would happen in the universe where Sony and Marvel inked that deal and Spider-Man shows up in the Avengers and, I don't know, Nick Fury, he shows up in his house and hands him a fucking Avengers comlink and says, we need your help, Spider-Man. And, I want to live in that universe.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people do.
Like, not just because I personally hate Tom Holland as Spider-Man, and that is a big part of it, but it also has to do with, I'd love to see where they would have taken it from there. Like, how that would have changed things. Oh, yeah. Thunderbolt Ross, you can give the Avengers all the shit about this you want. They are not responsible for any of this.
Like, obviously, there are consequences to every person's action, but it's like, yeah, Ross. I guess is how Ross was able to get at the Sokovia Accords going was mostly due to him helping to manipulate the footage to make it look like the Avengers were not really helping.
Thunderbolt Ross
is
worse at peddling fake news than J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, but here's the thing. People are surprisingly easy to manipulate.
Yeah, also, Jameson actually has a soul.
Well, at least in Raimi, man.
Well, yeah. But I remain unconvinced that that Thunderbolt Ross has a soul.
Neither of us believe that. I love his quiver.
Oh yeah. I'm glad they resisted the desire to put something like 616 on that bus.
Indeed.
Like if this was a DC TV show, they would be like 52 would be plastered all over the fucking thing. Yeah,
And
I
thus the
seem to not
first of
remember
many
Budapest
times.
at all.
Yeah.
Sure
I
hope we
remembered
see
it being
something
very
about that.
boring.
I sure hope we get some kind of, expansion on that that doesn't last like 2 seconds and wraps up before anybody can figure out what the fuck is going on. I'm
He's
Captain
America's
America! The fuck do you
Ow.
think you're taking orders from me for? Or I'm Captain
see a
fucking
guy-
America!
You see, that would make sense. That you see, they would immediately think to follow his order, or as if this were in our universe. But
Oh, yeah.
this isn't our universe because remember, Cap's been on ice since World War II.
Yeah, it's like in our universe, Cap's been around, we'll say. Oh, Midtown Financial Center. That's a somewhat oblique reference to Spider-Man. Not a direct one, and mostly just because Spider-Man does a lot of stuff around Midtown. Oh yeah, and look at that.
Oh, and meanwhile,
Clint's using these arrows as close combat weapons sparingly, not like he should have a goddamn sword like in the Arrowverse.
Yeah.
And Clint actually uses a sword later on.
Yep, he becomes Ronin.
Yeah.
And Banner just shows up.
Bruce, where the hell have you been?
You have any idea how many miles I had to drive? I even had to get gas.
Did you not? You had money for gas, so you didn't have money to make a fucking phone call.
I didn't have there wasn't a do you see a payphone nearby that I could have done that? Do I have any of your numbers?
Oh yeah, my number is 555-1776.
Oh, and here's another iconic moment. A really good time for you to get angry. That's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry.
And the opening chords of one of the most famous themes in one of the most iconic film scores of history. Oh, they just scream
Now that's a
and
group
Hulk
shot.
screams back.
And
Yeah,
remember,
Hulk's head is not getting cut off in this version.
send in everyone. Which one, sir?
Everyone!
I love how we were both thinking Leon the Professional.
Yeah. I wonder if,
And then just imagine Hulk just walks up to a Chitauri that just smashes him with a car. The other one's like, nope, 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 nope. Yes, I'm making a reference to Endgame. And then Professor Hulk's just like, oh god, was I like this?
hey, look at that! Captain America doesn't care about language in this film.
And then suddenly he does care because he's an old man. Can you imagine? also imagine like Diana being like, "Yeah, no, he's never cursed in our house." And Steve's like, "You don't have to embarrass me, honey."
Honey, you don't have to embarrass me in front of the other superheroes.
I'm surprised Thor isn't just doing that all the time. Does wonders with crowd control.
Oh, yeah.
But then again, it wouldn't really be very cinematic now, would it?
No. Also, there's a lot more of them, so, you know.
Yeah. He'd wear himself out. Doesn't even have to look.
Yeah, that, yeah. I get the feeling that J.J. Abrams had been watching the Avengers when he was writing the script for, The Force Awakens.
Whatever gave you that idea?
Oh, the fact that Han Solo literally does that.
Yeah, I still love how MCU Spider-Man is just, it's like we finally get a movie where he gets put through the ringer more so than whatever Mysterio put him through in the second movie.
Yeah, you know, you can give Hulk all the shit you want for the stuff that he's done in this film, and oh, look at that, the heroes are causing collateral damage. Huh.
I'm sure that won't come up later.
I'm sure people who love this film won't complain about it next year. Nobody ever died by being too careful.
Like the hypocrites that they are.
That's to live by. Have you ever played the GoldenEye remake?
No.
I like that line. Oh yeah, look at that. The beginning of chemistry that will persist into the Winter Soldier, or that legitimately made myself and a bunch of other people think that they were angling for Cap and Widow. Which made sense because that was what they were doing in the fucking comics at the time.
Like I said, if only.
Yeah.
And people wonder why I angle towards Beast Boy and Raven and for my writings of Titan stuff.
Yeah. Well, I ultimately he decided that, let's have Cap and Wundy as a thing, and they'll just, be a thing forever, or so that we can eliminate this petty fucking relationship drama that every fucking thing has. It's part of the reason why I hated Spider-Man 2 so much.
You really hated Spider-Man 2?
And The Empire Strikes Back. They both did the same fucking shit.
Oh, and I still love of how this establishes the relationship dynamic between Thor and Hulk.
Meanwhile, Superman and General Zod are having a wrestling match over in the corner. Because I think this is literally the same fucking train station.
That's Grand Central Station.
What was it in Man of Steel? Because it looked very
Metropolis
similar.
is in Delaware.
Okay. I'm racist against cities. They all look alike to me.
Gee, I wonder why.
Might be because I'm a country boy.
No, not even that, but also the fact that, they film a lot of these movies in the same city.
Yeah. At least it's not the Ghostbusters remake where they filmed a bunch of shit in fucking Boston and like hardly anything in New York. Can you think of something that's less fitting as a double for New York than fucking Boston? Oh yeah, look at that. Cap actually has a reason
Chicago.
for his helmet to come off. It got ripped off of him. Oh yeah, there's the waitress.
Didn't
who
they
you won't-
forget the? Didn't they forget the helmet? The helmet got ripped off in Endgame.
No, that was the shield. They forgot that the shield got
No,
broken.
no. Oh, there's a bit.
Oh.
You forgot that during the time heist.
Oh yeah. Shit. But then they also had that. Like, do you remember how Cap just doesn't have his helmet on at all in the final battle of Age of Ultron, and they just don't have any reason why. Yeah, that was a deleted scene. We'll get to that.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that is like my example, of why the people who were editing the MCU should have been fired at that point.
Oh, I love
It was deleted.
this.
Oh yeah.
Anything? Oh, Loki.
Fantastic shot.
Oh, and then we get and then we'll later get one of the funniest scenes in this movie. Oh, here he is.
Here we go.
This got me and
I
a
love
lot of
this
other
scene
people in
so
the.
much.
This got me and a lot of other people in the theater laughing when this came out. Whoop!
Yeah, bonk, 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 bonk.
That was actually a good line delivery
Absolutely amazing. That was the
that was a good line delivery from Ruffalo there.
That meme has been such that line has been such a fucking meme in my family in the last 9 years.
I imagine I imagine in our version of Doomsday just do that to Loki and then Loki, but it would be much more brutal.
Oh, yeah.
Loki just like brother.
I think I literally wrote that as like the monster made rubble of the street beneath them, and muttered in an impossible voice that sounded like a valley of boulders grinding together. Puny God. Like we could.
Can you imagine that? You know, I have to wonder what would be a suitable voice to have for Doomsday to say that.
I'd almost want David Hayter.
Yeah,
and,
but
like, pitch his voice down, you know?
Let me go through the guys who have voiced Doomsday in the past besides Michael J. White.
Nah, but then again... I could always do it myself and pitch it down.
So Doomsday has been voiced...
But I sound like young Snake. I sound like Snake did in the first Metal Gear game.
Yeah, you sound... Yeah, you make Snake... Yeah, you sound too young.
Yeah.
Doomsday has been voiced by Michael J. White, Benjamin and Jansen, and Carrie Payton, and Robin Atkin Downs, and Gary A. Hecker, or as along with and Fred Tatasciore.
Somebody remembered that crashing through glass hurts.
Yep. It had to be Barton. Hulk no like laser beams.
Fury just walks out there with a goddamn RPG.
Some part of me would want to just have have Michael J. White do like the weird voice thing that he did in that episode of Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah, that would probably work.
What did you think you were gonna do with that?
What the fuck did you think you were gonna do? That's an F-16.
Come on, Fury, you should know better. Nuke the fucker. Oosh.
I wonder if they played the footage back, or if they had to have a guy throw the shield at Chris Evans from off camera several times.
You've seen the gag reel too, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, now I remember.
I could do this all day. I know there's a sex joke somewhere, but that'd be too easy.
I can just imagine in our version of this, it's like they send in the first nuke that with the Phantom Drive, and that takes out the Black Zero, and then like Thunderbolt Ross makes a call, and he's like, yeah, that wasn't enough. If we need to blow up the rest of the city. And they're just like, what the fuck? We had this taken care of, kind of.
Outside me. Ran and it's late.
We have very little information on the team of colorfully costumed characters who aren't wearing masks. At least one of whom is a major celebrity. Well, two of whom at this point.
Tank missile. He was the bravest mother trucker I ever did know.
Nice callback to this in Infinity War, by the way.
Yep.
When Tony calls Pepper as he's leaving the planet, and she actually picks up.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Silvestri also made a callback to this musical cue in the Endgame score when Tony does his snap thing.
No, during the time heist, I'm guessing Cap at Bert, who's Tony and Scott had to kind of wait a while and just watch all this. Wouldn't you think so?
Yeah.
Oh, and remember, Jeremy's dumbass literally said at that point, there's no gravity in space.
Okay, allow me to elaborate on how wormholes work. The gravity of Earth is pulling down through the wormhole.
On top of that, there is gravity in space. It's what pulls things towards planets.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, one of us has to give him mouth to mouth.
First off, we need to kickstart his heart. Thor, get that hammer over here. I legitimately thought that was what was going to happen. And then they did that in Endgame.
It was actually kind of a good gag too.
Yeah, like almost every missed opportunity they had was used in Endgame. And they made fun of a bunch of stupid shit from the comics too.
Like Hail Hydra.
Captain
I'm
America.
thankful they made fun of that.
Yeah, that. And I want to see like it. The fact that they had like what if be
I think that's
the
seen in
absolute tripe that it was, as opposed to being like what if the Winter Soldier, but also it's in the universe where Cap said "Hail Hydra" to the guy. You know.
that would be a more interesting what if than any of the what ifs they put out so far.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I feel like I remember that the Cap versus Cap fight was its ending was kind of what started one of our more interesting debates way back in 2019.
Absolutely fantastic. Oh, look at the shield. He's got the shield logo burned into his jaw there. You see that?
Yeah. I remember Thor had to shut him up just because he said just because he made fun of Cap.
Hey, where did that Captain America merchandise come from?
Indeed.
I wonder if...
Oh, there's Stanley. Unfortunately,
that
Totally
was-
Not Mark
that
was
was-
not able to finish his review of the Amazing Spider-Man movies before No Way Home came out.
Mm,
Kind of a shame, but he's been going through a lot ever since Toei. It decided to just be, Toei.
yeah, Beth was originally a more important character in the original cut of this film. But,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that scene of Coulson getting stabbed had to be reshot 3 times. Because the MPAA tried to give the movie an R rating over that. Yeah, it kind of is, considering that, let him take it. He is answering for his crimes somewhere else. We have an extradition treaty with Asgard. Didn't you hear that?
The Tesseract to repair the
The bridge?
the Bifrost.
The Bifrost, yeah.
Perhaps it was.
Cap driving his fucking motorcycle like he always does.
Apparently, CinemaSins says that they've seen enough of Cap riding motorcycles to make it a trope or a cliche.
I mean, kinda, but not really. And up until the proper version of Justice League, this was the single most ambitious superhero film ever made.
Yep.
The fact that it actually worked is amazing. The fact that they were able to get this off the ground is impressive. Why are you wearing no shoes in here? There's glass all over the place. Put your shoes on, Gwyneth. And before you ask, no, I don't want to buy any goop or a vagina candle. Oh yeah, Zach Penn didn't actually write this script. His credit on this is it is entirely down to stupid Writers Guild rules. Joss Whedon didn't use a single bit of his material. They credited him on this because of fucking Writers Guild's bullshit. Same way Mario Puzo was credited on Superman the movie and Superman 2.
Yeah, this movie still is like a 10 out of 10 in my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. No, this is still one of the greatest superhero films ever made. It's up there.
Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, not Edward Norton.
Yeah, not Edward Norton.
Chris Hemsworth.
And they still don't have Chris Pine in
Scarlett
the MCU.
Johansson's ass. And
One
Jeremy
of these days,
Renner.
they'll catch them all.
Tom Hiddleston. Clark Gregg. Colby Smulders.
Whose likeness would be misappropriated for the Avengers game, but not for the character she played in this
Stellan
movie.
Skarsgård. And one unmean motherfucker.
Like, they made Black Widow look like Kobe Smulders. Excuse me, everybody saw the Avengers. Have you not seen the fucking box office? It was the #3 movie worldwide for a good, what was it, like 5-6 years?
Yeah. Meanwhile, in outer space.
Oh yeah, for all of you who love to say, oh, they had a lot of great planning ahead for this, they really didn't. The only reason Thanos is in this movie is because Joss Whedon said it would be a good idea.
People didn't even know who Thanos was up until this point.
Yeah, the inclusion of the Mad Titan in this movie is entirely down to Joss Whedon, and
Oh, and he's played by a completely different actor in this movie than he will be starting with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, an actor who doesn't speak at all in this film, so we can kind of, you know, justify.
Oh, hi, Grimace.
Yeah. It's not the same kind of recasting as, you know, with other stuff in the MCU.
But would you say Brolin made Thanos his own?
Absolutely. Well, there wasn't really any foundation for the character up until he
aside from most other portrayals of him in animated media.
Well, yeah, but I meant in the MCU. You know, this wasn't a situation
Obviously
where he was
not
replacing
in the
somebody
MCU.
else. Oh yeah, and you know, this song is by Soundgarden. It is one of I think like 5 or 6 different songs they tried out to be the ending theme of this film.
You know who's been the most common voice of Thanos?
Who?
Isaac Singleton Jr.
Huh. Yeah, Theory of a Dead Man did Shoot to Thrill, a cover of Shoot to Thrill for this album, for this movie. That wasn't in this. The only song from Avengers Assemble, music from and inspired by the Avengers, that made it into this film was Live to Rise by Soundgarden, which, I mean, you know, whatever. It's cool. I like the song. Would have been nice if they had more of them. But, you know, they also had,
Yeah.
They also had Unbroken by the Black Veil Brides, A New Way to Bleed by Evanescence, From Out of Nowhere by Five Finger Death Punch, which is a cover of a Faith No More song. Wherever I Go by Buck Cherry, and I'm Alive by Shinedown. And in addition to Even If I Could by Papa Roach. Some of these songs make a bit more sense for inclusion on this soundtrack than others, I'll just say that. Like, I don't dislike Papa Roach. Papa Roach isn't my least favorite, you know, group in their genre, we'll say. But, you know, Soundgarden and the Black Veil Brides, their songs that they wrote for this soundtrack are leagues above of Papa Roach. Soundgarden, Black Veil Brides, Evanescence, and so then you just got a bunch of covers of stuff. So, and the thing is, this is kind of back when the MCU kind of felt like they were trying to be sort of like traditional movies as opposed to like what they became later, you know?
Yeah.
Like this has, you know, it has
Remember
like a
when
whole from and inspired by soundtrack, you know? So
you know what people theorized might have been the invisible guy that hit Lizard in No Way Home's trailer?
was it going to...
Ant-Man?
Okay. I was going to say something stupid, but you said something that made sense.
We had this discussion a while ago. You were like, why would Ant-Man be here?
Yeah.
Perhaps he wanted to help a fellow insect-themed superhero out.
But Spider-Man's not an insect. He's an arachnid.
They don't know the difference.
Huh. Yeah, there was, Alan Silvestri wrote a bunch of music for this movie, including themes for Black Widow and Hawkeye, and, Black Widow's theme was not used in her movie.
Which is stupid. It's friggin' stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, and the Batman has now changed its release date from February of 2022 to March 1st of 2022.
Oh, can they just cancel this fucking movie already?
No, not the Batman movie.
Oh,
the
the
TV
animated
show.
series, the Blu-ray. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I was disappointed when I heard about that.
Yeah, but at the very least, I didn't have to worry about asking for it on my birthday.
Yeah, like they didn't have Alan Silvestri do the Black Widow score. They had...
I imagine Tony just is looking at a Beast Boy in a foul mood and just be like, what happened to him?
Yeah.
I mean, this would be off the heels of... And while Tony's having his own misadventure, this would be coming off the heels of Judas Contract.
Yeah. The only thing in...
So you can guess why.
Yeah. The only theme from this film that was reprised by Lorne Balfe's Black Widow score was the main Avengers theme, which is pretty much... Like, you can't not have that at this point, I guess. But, you know, Lorne Balfe was also a last-minute replacement for Alexander Desplat. So,
By the way, the My Hero Academia Season 5 is now available for pre-order on Right Stuff.
Oh, cool. I also have to contact them about my
Ava?
Yeah.
I, at the very least, was able to just, like, cram the Blu-rays into the case.
Yeah.
It's just be like, stick it in there or until it stays.
Yeah, I had to, like, take all the discs out, set them off in one of those cake boxes, and then, like, bend the case out.
Oh, and here comes the post-credits scene.
Which was actually shot, yeah. It's actually been shot after the principal photography for the movie was over. Or this was shot after the premiere. And so you can see Chris Evans not doing anything because he's hiding the fact that he has a rubber jaw on. You can also see that Chris Hemsworth isn't moving around very much because the costume was molded to fit his Avengers physique, and he'd slimmed down quite significantly by then.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth, I think, like, he doesn't do like the whack ass weight gain and like fat gain that Christian Bale does, but Chris Hemsworth is like probably up there or beyond Christian Bale in like terms of what he'll do to to get buff for a role, you know?
Well, anyway, next week I believe we'll be doing Hulk versus.
Yes, Hulk versus a double feature that was, much like next Avengers, absolutely inescapable when I was a kid. And yet I never actually watched it.
Oh, and fun fact, that I think that was one of the first few instances of Nolan North forcing Deadpool.
Oh, yeah.
And as for the pick I have to start off the new year, sadly, it's going to be the Mortal Kombat Legends movies.
Yeah. Man, you couldn't have picked something like The Land Before Time.
That'll be after Injustice.
Yes, indeed it will. So, we'll see y'all later. Bye.
Bye.